Hello, I'm Ian and this is Somerset News Network. I've been looking into the LA riots. They're live on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Everybody's got their phones out, videoing it. But how did it start and why did it start? Now we know the Democrats are supporting it. Even the governor of California is supporting it. What happened on Friday was 4 foreigners were picked up. They were criminals. They'd been convicted. They allegedly spent time in prison and got let out. So Glenn Beck goes through the names, the ages, and the crimes that they've committed. Now remember, they're illegal aliens. And ICE has got the mandate from Trump, who's got the mandate from the people to remove illegal immigrants who are criminals. So they held a peaceful protest. There's a bit of a standoff on Saturday. And then last night, it kicked off. They're burning cars, they're throwing blocks, tear gas was used. Now, I've got Glenn Beck here. Let him explain who these people are. According to California, they're very nice people. You know, you'd want them living next door to you. You know? Yeah, you'd love your daughter to go out with them. No problem at all. Like hell. Glenn, can you explain who these people are, please?
This is somebody trying to overthrow the United States of America. Somebody should point out, hey, I don't know, setting buildings on fire, setting police cars on fire, throwing concrete slabs at police officers and government agents, probably not peaceful. But you say that and boom, you're a fascist bigot, or just, God forbid, somebody who notices things and is still attached to reality. But relax, gang. It's just, you just squint at the flaming Starbucks and it looks like it's just pretty and mainly peaceful. And you gotta squint a little harder at the looted Target and all of that. But it's just vibes. It's just revolutionary taxpayer-funded vibes. That's all it is, gang. That's all it is. So I just it's great. It's great. Now, this all started apparently because we were going after these poor illegals that are here just because they're poor and they're just looking for a better life, maybe more people to rape. I'm not sure. Did I say that? That's so wrong. Let me give you the list of the people that they arrested. This is what started it, okay? You have Rolando Enriquez, 55 years old, just came here for a better life. He's from the Philippines. Now, he wanted to start all over. He has a criminal history that includes burglary in Ontario, California. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison, but it wasn't just that. He also, I like this one, sexual penetration with a foreign object with force and assault with the intent to commit rape in the city of Pomona, California. He was sentenced to 37 years in prison, but I don't know how they count time in California, but I don't think he was in prison for 37 years. He was arrested on Saturday and served a notice to appear. That's an outrage. How could we possibly, all he was doing was inserting foreign objects in people. That's all he was doing, with force, with an intent to rape. But who hasn't done that? I mean, we've all made mistakes. Then you have Jose Ortiz, 42, of Ecuador. He was arrested on Friday, served administrative deportation. His criminal history includes being sentenced for more than 11 years in prison for conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute 5 kilos of cocaine. So he's just a drug dealer. Like America doesn't have drug dealers. We don't deport all of our drug dealers, do we? Again, he was sentenced to more than 11 years in prison. My question is, why wasn't he in prison? I'd like to know that one. Then you have Victor Martinez. He's 44. He's from Mexico. He was arrested, alleged active gang member of Brats 13. But he only has a criminal history that includes sexual battery in Los Angeles. He had 135 days in jail, 5 years probation. Now, see, that's the California that I know and love. Give him a few days in the clink and let him go. Let him go. Sentenced to 90 days in jail, 3 years probation for receiving known or stolen property in Norwalk, and sentenced to 365 days in jail and 4 years probation for petty theft. Now, that's much more like your average Californian, right? I mean, he was only stealing stuff, and maybe receiving some stolen property, but no big deal. Then you have Victor Aguilar, 32. He's from Mexico, arrested on Friday. Criminal history in Pasadena that includes being sentenced to 112 days in jail for possessing unlawful paraphernalia. Stu, what do you think unlawful paraphernalia is in California? I mean, I could come up with a lot of things. I'm here in Idaho, you're in Texas. I could come up with a lot of things that might be unlawful paraphernalia. But in California, what would that be?
The Constitution? Would that be unlawful?
Okay, all right. Good. Any GOP bumper sticker or anything like that? He was also sentenced to 16 months in jail for possessing controlled substances. He was sentenced for 4 years behind bars for assault with a deadly weapon. And then 364 days, not a full year, 364. A full year would have been madness. But 364 days in jail for obstructing a public officer. He's also an alleged active member of the Via Boys gang, which I think is a K-pop group from the 90s. I'm not sure. Then you have Delfino Martinez, 51, of Mexico. He was arrested on Friday, served notice to appear. His criminal history includes assault with a deadly weapon with great bodily injury in Los Angeles. He was sentenced to a year in jail. Okay, so then you have, holy cow. Now, why didn't we have this at the beginning? Jeez, now I know why everybody's so upset. They arrested Jesus. Now, I didn't know Jesus had a middle and 2 last names, Jesus Alan Hernandez Morales. So I'm not sure if it's the same Jesus or not. But he sounds like he was arrested and sentenced in Las Cruces. The crosses. Hello. This is what this is all about, people. 239 days in jail for conspiracy to transport an illegal migrant. So all he was doing is what Jesus did do. He was smuggling people in the back of his car. And I'm sure it had nothing to do with sexual favors or anything like that. Also, he discharged a firearm at an inhabited dwelling and a vehicle. What? This is so ridiculous. He discharged a firearm at an inhabited dwelling. You mean, so it wasn't just a flop house? No, even flop houses could be inhabited. So it was someplace where people were dwelling, and he accidentally discharged a fire. In other words, he pulled the trigger of a gun. Okay. Also, 4 years of probation. But this was only for battery on a spouse. or a cohabitant. I love that one. A spouse or a cohabitant. We're not really sure how they define their relationship. Sentenced to 4 years also for willful cruelty to a child, and 10 days for driving under the influence. How is this guy out so much to keep doing all of these crimes? I mean, how is that happening? You do one, it should prevent all of the other crimes from happening, you know? Also 3 years, sentenced for 3 years behind bars for assault with a semi-automatic firearm, which is like, might as well be a bazooka to people in California, and being sentenced to 3 years behind bars for personal use of a firearm. And I want you to know that was not in a inhabited dwelling. That was just outside someplace in the wild. We don't even know where that happened. So it could be even worse. So these are just the people that were arrested on Friday that caused all of these riots. And you can see why, how the average person, as Karen Bass says, is so concerned that they could be next.